The Curse of Oak Island Season 12, Episode 4 Recap. The Golden Egg Drilling Shocker and the Smith's Cove Flood Tunnel Theory. The latest episode of The Curse of Oak Island Season 12, Concrete Evidence, continues the team's exhaustive search for the legendary money pit and its elusive treasure. The episode begins with metal detection on Lot 4, where spoils from previous excavations are examined. The team uncovers a button, thought to date back to the 1700s or 1800s, and a small lead artifact. Gary Drayton, a seasoned metal detectorist, suggests the lead piece could be an ancient coin weight, potentially linked to large gold coins. However, Emma Culligan offers a conflicting view, identifying the artifact as modern debris. The differing interpretations reflect the ongoing difficulty in determining the historical significance of the island's finds. Challenges at the Golden Egg result in a wild theory. The team faces frustration as continued drilling in an area dubbed the Golden Egg produces no significant results. Geoscientist Ian Spooner presents a surprising hypothesis. Excessive drilling may be dispersing or diluting precious metals, rendering them undetectable. Spooner recommends pausing drilling operations to preserve potential evidence of treasure. The proposal represents a strategic shift for the team in what appears to be another setback. As part of their evolving approach, the team turns to historical data from the Restall family, who conducted treasure hunts on the island decades ago. Their plan involves tracing flood tunnels believed to lead to the money pit. However, locating the exact positions of the tunnels remains a significant obstacle. Despite past failures with similar strategies, the team remains optimistic that modern technology and updated maps could yield better results this time around. Excavation at Smith's Cove links to the Restall family. At Smith's Cove, Billy Gerhardt leads the excavation of a large pit, hoping to uncover evidence of the flood tunnels. The dig uncovers wood fragments, rocks, and a flat concrete slab. The concrete is believed to have been poured by the Restall family in an attempt to block the tunnels and prevent flooding. However, ongoing water issues raise questions about the effectiveness of this effort. The find adds another layer of intrigue to the island's mystery. The episode concludes with the team preparing for further exploration, balancing their efforts between revisiting old plans and leveraging new insights. As the search progresses, the team remains committed to uncovering the secrets buried beneath Oak Island. Fans can expect more discoveries and challenges in the coming episodes as the pursuit of the legendary treasure continues. The sun had barely risen over Nova Scotia's Mahone Bay, casting a golden sheen over the waters surrounding the infamous Oak Island. But even nature's brilliance couldn't match the gleam in Rick and Marty Legina's eyes as they stood at the edge of Borehole G8, a spot that had been chosen based on years of clues, historical documents, and one mysterious symbol found carved into a stone slab unearthed in the swamp. They were chasing a new lead, a possible golden egg chamber, a theorized pocket of treasure surrounded by engineered rock barriers, hidden deep below ground. This term wasn't just metaphorical anymore. The seismic scans suggested a perfect ovoid shape nestled between the bedrock fractures 180 feet down. For weeks, the team debated whether it was a natural void or something man-made. But on this morning, the truth was about to rise to the surface, one bucket of earth at a time. The Golden Egg Discovery. The drilling rig groaned to life as the oscillator pushed through dense soil. Every core sample was examined with painstaking detail. It was around noon when Charles Barkhouse, who had been watching the spoils pile with a practiced eye, suddenly stiffened. "Get Rick over here, now." The core sample he held was laced with flecks of gold, actual, verifiable gold. But it wasn't just the metal that was remarkable. Embedded in the clay were fragments of what looked like ornately etched ceramic, curved in a way that suggested they were once part of something larger. Something egg-shaped. Dr. Ian Spooner was brought in immediately. After quick field analysis and a preliminary spectrometer reading, he confirmed what they had hoped. Not only was the material centuries old, but the gold traces were not naturally occurring. This wasn't a mineral deposit. It was remnants of a container, a golden egg, if you will, crafted by human hands and deliberately hidden. "You're looking," Spooner said, nearly breathless, "at a container that may have once held sacred or priceless objects, possibly even religious artifacts from the 14th or 15th century. This could be Templar. This could be Portuguese. This could change the whole game." The Smith's Cove shock. While excitement built at GG8, attention turned to Smith's Cove, long suspected to be the epicenter of the island's flood tunnel system. For years, theorists claimed that any attempt to dig into the money pit triggered water to flood in from the cove, channeled through a clever web of tunnels lined with coconut fiber and layered stone drains. Now, new sonar imaging, combined with ground-penetrating radar, revealed something game-changing: a massive, serpentine tunnel beneath Smith's Cove, far more intricate and expansive than previously imagined. It curved like a labyrinth, branching off in 3 directions, with one shaft aimed unmistakably toward the Golden Egg site. Billy Gerhardt and the excavation team got to work. Within days, they uncovered hand-hewn wooden cribbing dating back to the early 1700s, preserved surprisingly well. And mixed into the soil, more coconut fiber, clearly transported from a distant tropical location. If that wasn't enough, Gary Drayton swept in with his metal detector and hit a target. The team unearthed what looked like an iron valve, complete with primitive pressure grooves and a mechanism suggesting it could control the water flow through the tunnel system. "This isn't just a flood tunnel," Marty said, staring at the schematic. "This is a defense mechanism. Whoever built this didn't just want to hide treasure. They wanted to make sure no one ever found it." Connecting the dots. Back at the war room, Alex Lagina laid out the emerging theory. The Golden Egg chamber had likely been constructed as a central vault, sealed tight in an avoid cavern, resistant to natural shifts and possibly pressure-locked. The flood tunnels, which had long been assumed to protect the money pit, may actually protect this chamber instead. And that changed everything. Maps were reanalyzed. Old dig sites took on new meaning. The so-called money pit could have been a misdirection, an elaborate decoy. The real prize may have been 200 feet northwest all along, sitting quietly in the shadows, guarded by booby traps and ancient engineering. Doug Crowell chimed in with historical backing. There were reports from the 1790s of lights being seen over Smith's Cove, not the money pit. And the Onslow Company noted sudden water flow while digging parallel shafts. What if that surge came from the egg chamber being breached, not the pit? Even skeptics like Laird Niven were beginning to warm to the idea. The materials we're finding at both sites, they don't line up with typical colonial-era construction. This looks intentional, calculated. We may be looking at a level of engineering lost to history. The danger grows. The excitement, however, came with caution. The sonar team warned that disturbing the chamber or collapsing a key segment of the flood tunnel could unleash trapped water with devastating force. Marty, always the voice of practical reason, urged for a controlled dig. A new shaft, reinforced and dry, was planned to bore into the egg site with minimal disturbance. They dubbed the operation Project Nest. The plan? To send down a precision drill and robotic camera through a 6-inch borehole into the heart of the chamber. If successful, it could reveal what, if anything, was still hidden inside. Weeks of planning followed. Weather threatened delays. Equipment broke down. But finally, as summer began to wane, the camera was ready. It was lowered slowly into the chamber, the screen live in the war room. Silence fell as the image flickered to life. First came mud, then stone, and then there it was. Gleaming, nestled in what looked like a carved marble cradle, was a smooth, gold-colored orb, partially cracked, but unmistakably human-crafted. Rick gasped, "We found the egg." What now? With treasure possibly in sight, the Lagina brothers now faced their most difficult decisions yet. Did they breach the chamber and risk triggering a deadly flood from the Smith's Cove tunnel system? Did they attempt to siphon the chamber dry, knowing they might destroy the artifact in the process? And most of all, who put it there? Templar Knights? Portuguese explorers? A secret society guarding religious relics? As the team prepares for the next phase of excavation, one thing is certain: the legend of Oak Island has just been cracked wide open. With the Golden Egg in their sights and the Smith's Cove flood tunnels finally revealing their secrets, the curse of Oak Island may soon give up its greatest treasure yet: truth.